And we are live. Hello guys, what's up? I'm Brian here doing a new video for you guys, and this time it's another Transformers Insane Asylum episode. Doesn't seem like we have anyone else except for Rick so far, but the Hangout link is open so anyone can pretty much join whenever they can and whenever they get the time to. Anyways, for today's episode, we have with us Rick Alvarez. Is that
Alvarez.
Alvarez, okay.
Yeah, that can sometimes be difficult. You're not familiar with Spanish.
No, I'm Canadian. I screw up French, so I'm not good with English. So
Well, Brian, nice to meet you, and thanks for having me on the program.
I'm glad to have you on board. So he works with Play With Us too. Can you pretty much explain to everyone who's new what Play With Us 2 is?
Sure. So we're a group. A lot of us have worked in the toy and entertainment industry before. So we're industry professionals. We kind of just wanted to be creative on our own and do something, make a product that kind of had no limits or bounds or oversight from like a senior manager or marketing. We just wanted to get together and do something fun, make something for ourselves. So some of us have worked on comic books. Some of us have worked on Thundercats, on He-Man. I used to work at Hasbro. I used to work on the Transformers and G.I. Joe toy lines.
Wow.
How are you?
How was it working at Hasbro?
Hasbro was great. Well, there were some good times and there were some very frustrating times. The good times was when everyone was vibing and chilling, and we had a great. We all knew what we were working towards. Everyone was on the same page. Other times, and it's like any career opportunity. Sometimes people disagree. Sometimes they wanted to go in a different direction.
Yeah.
Or sometimes senior management can get involved and say, hey, all that work you guys have been doing for the last year, throw it out because we're going to do something new now. Because the data says you have to make a figure red, or we're going to try this, or sales aren't what they want, so we're going to do this instead. So, I mean, that's with any job.
Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
But I got to see a lot of cool things, and I got to meet a lot of fun people. And a lot of those people I'm still friends with, and some of those people are working on Play With This too now.
I'm curious what figures you worked on now.
So primarily, I was in charge of story. I worked in a group. I was part of the design team, but I was working on a group called HasLab, and I was working under Aaron Archer. And basically, what our first mandate was to be the guardians of the brand and the guardians of the story. So anything that had to do with intellectual property, IP, so comic books, video games, the movies, Transformers Prime, all that stuff, all that stuff. We had our hand in, and we would work with the studio, saying, "Hey, Optimus is this type of character. Or he wouldn't necessarily look like this, or no, you wouldn't want to make him into a jet. He's going to have to be a truck." That's an extreme example, but hey, sometimes it happened. Remember my first week there, I had someone from, it wasn't the licensing department, I think it was the video game crew. They called me and they're like, who is Optimus and who is Prime and which one of them is the actual leader? I remember telling that to Aaron, and he's like, that person should be fired.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So, as far as
Megatron like friends with Bumblebee, or are they not in the same friend zone, or something like that?
No, they kind of work in different departments.
Yeah.
So, it was all a team effort. Sometimes I can say, hey, that was directly because of me, but usually we say it's a team effort. Everyone worked together, and I would say probably the figure that I'm most proud of, or and definitely had the most fun ever working on was that G2 Bruticus from Fall of Cybertron. I'm a big G2 fan, and we did the War for Cybertron or Fall of Cybertron Bruticus, and then I knew we were going to do an exclusive for Amazon. And I pitched, we got to make a G2. We got to do a box. It's got to be a G2. They got to have the logos. So I brought in my original G2 Megatron. We scanned it in. We recreated everything. We matched the colors as best as possible. We even got one of the original guys to come in and do the box art for us. And he made an actual painting, which is unheard of in this day and age. It's a dying art. It's like sculpting figures in 3D rather than in CAD or STL. It's like someone sculpting something out of wax. It's just unheard of these days. So that was definitely a labor of love, and I think that's the thing that's the one set of figures I love the most from my years at Hasbro.
I have a friend who's like, he craves every version of Bruticus. He's getting the Combiner Wars Bruticus and all that. I love Bruticus too. So hearing that, I'm pretty sure he's jealous that he couldn't be in this episode for right now. But who knows? Maybe next time. So yeah, I also want to set something straight for everyone. I do apologize for some of the things that were said on the previous cast. I didn't know that there were actual video reviews of Play With This 2 figures. Like, I really don't exactly know why like that didn't come across. I've been going through a couple of excuses in my head, and it's kind of like just it didn't get brought up. I think the biggest the biggest factor into that was because like all that I saw were basically pictures and concept figures. I didn't really look into Play With This 2, so I didn't really see Vangelis's review or Retro Robot Radio's review, or if he did. I've lost track, honestly.
Well, look, yeah, I'm not here to bash anyone. I appreciate you giving me the chance to talk to your listeners and to talk to you and just tell you guys a little bit about what we're doing. So the pictures, everything that's been seen so far, these are 3D printed resin prototypes. They're not plastic, so the tolerances aren't quite correct yet because there's only so much give when you have a prototype as opposed to a piece of plastic, which has give and you could pop joints in and out. So dealing with prototypes is always tricky. And then the more you play with them, the more the prototype is going to get used up. The more you use that ball joint or turn that waist, it's going to rub against each other, and it's just going to fall apart. Eventually, they're just going to crumble. But that's the nature of working in this business. And we're launching our Kickstarter on Friday. Friday is a big day for me, for some other reasons too. So Friday, we launched Kickstarter, and if we're funded, and I certainly hope we're funded, then we'll have our test shots probably around June, July, and those will be plastic, of course. And we'll send those out for reviews, and happy to send them to you for review as well. And then hopefully we'll be shipping maybe September, October, maybe earlier. But our goal is to make it good, to make it fun, and to get it out as quickly as possible to you guys. So if we're funded, we will start cutting steel the following month. There'll be no delay.
Yeah, I mean, God, I would love to be able to review one of the figures, because I know I was criticizing the company for what I thought I knew, but there was at no point in time did I say, these look horrible, these look bad, I would never want them, I don't want them in my collection or anywhere near it. There's some pretty cool figures. It's just the lineup isn't really for me exactly because I'm not into He-Man. It's kind of He-Man-esque or something like that. So,
Well, we draw our inspiration from lots of places. I'm a product of the '80s, and so are a lot of the guys and ladies who work on Play With Us too. So we kind of draw our inspiration from what we remember as kids was cool, and from the stuff that we like. So it's not going to appeal to everyone, but to the people who like it, I hope they support us, and I hope they pledge during the Kickstarter. And if we're successful, then we got way more ideas to bring to retail, and not just not just a 6.5-inch figure. There's other things we want to do as well.
Yeah, because I've said that there's definitely an audience for this. Like, I know people who are not going to be interested. I know people who are going to be interested. But here's the thing. Like, what's going on now, it just seems like we got a lot of nostalgic ties. I'm really trying. I'm really trying not to say it. We got a lot of nostalgic ties to certain things, and it just doesn't seem like... It just doesn't seem like what you guys are trying to do gets enough focus, you know?
Well, we're focused. We're laser focused on what our product is. And if that doesn't come across, then maybe we'll have to adjust our message a little bit.
What I meant was like, I can't say it. What you guys are trying to do, it looks like the other guys doesn't really focus too much on that. So I'm happy that you guys are focused.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a lot of different people out there making a lot of different products, and I want to make something that harkened back to my childhood. And everyone else was when I kind of started throwing out the ideas to people, they're like, "Yeah, that sounds really cool. I would need something like that in my collection," and that's kind of how it took off.
Yeah. Yeah. I really do think it's cool. I just don't know if it's exactly like. I'm not going to beat that.
Well, I mean, it's not for everyone. I mean, some people like it, some people don't.
Yeah, I'm not going to beat that dead horse. Sorry about that. So yeah, there were a couple of questions that I wanted to ask. But Retro Robot Radio, which, by the way, thank you for correcting us on pretty much every little thing. I am only human. I am not the smartest peanut in the jelly jar. I don't know what that meant.
Yeah, that guy is a big supporter of us. So thanks to him for spreading. He does a lot of coverage on us, which has been very helpful. So thanks to him.
Yeah. So he says for Rick, if you had to pick one 80s song to be the theme for each of your Kickstarter figures, what would it be?
We did this. We were trying to do this character called Muscules, the third strongest man in the universe. And he's still on my radar to get done. But we did a soundtrack to Muscules, and it had a bunch of 80s songs on it. Like songs you would kind of like work out to if you were in the 1980s.
This figure comes with its own soundtrack.
We made it available for free on YouTube. I don't know. That's a tough question. I think not every character gets a theme song or theme music. That's a tough question. I don't know. I kind of think that Boneyard might even have like the Terminator theme, the T2 theme.
I don't know exactly.
But there's something funny about, we put up a video of the CAD model of him walking, and we had we played some Bee Gees music. Yeah, but it's just something about the Bee Gees music and just the way the animation came out that was just very funny. So it's stuff like that you don't get to do necessarily when you work at a at a company where there's more eyes and more people invested in making this product work because they all have to hit their certain goals. It's stuff like that, like taking an animation model and putting the BG staying alive to it. You can't do that everywhere. So I'm happy in my place in the world and happy to be able to do little things like that.
Yeah. So unfortunately, that's our only question. At least that's one question that I could keep track of. I'm not sure if someone on Facebook posted anything. I hardly keep track of those, unfortunately, so my bad. If you guys have any questions, please comment below, down below, pretty much anything, and we'll try our best to answer it. Anyways, with that said, I wanted to ask, what if this Kickstarter that you got going on, I'm going to skip a couple, God, I can't talk today. Skip a couple of questions because we pretty much already answered that. So I'm going to go to, what if the second run of Kickstarter doesn't work?
Well, that's a chance, but you don't have any success unless you try. And I'd be happy to say, hey, we tried it. Obviously, the idea got some attention, but not enough. If that's the case, if it doesn't work, I think I'll retire that idea and move on to my next idea, which is very, very different and plays in a very different world than 6.5-inch action figures. But hey, every failure leads you closer to success.
The next question I wanted to say was, have you had to make like some difficult choices in the process of Play With Us 2 and everything going on?
Difficult choices.
Yeah, has something difficult occurred or anything like that, like something that was kind of huge.
Well, there's. I would never say something is difficult. I would probably say it's more of a challenge. How you're going to overcome this challenge. For example, okay, I'll tell you this story. We were working with XYZ Factory, and they came back to us and they raised the price of units, of dollars per units. And I said, okay, well, I really can't do that. There's just no way I can afford that and make it affordable to the consumer, because we want to keep these figures as cheap as possible so that if you want them, you can get them in your hands. And that was a big challenge because we were kind of like left without a manufacturer. So I was fortunate enough to still have some contacts from when I was working at the Big H. We found another company, and they were able to quote us even cheaper than the first company did. So we were able to lower the figure prices down from, in our first Kickstarter, we did them at $50, $55. Now we're able to make them $39, and they technically come with more parts. And the more figures you buy, the more you'll save. So they'll be $39, and then if you get 3 or 4 or 5, that they'll be even cheaper than that.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that on Facebook, actually. So anyways, why should people donate to your Kickstarter?
Well, look, this is a niche of a niche of a niche. So if you're interested in this product, this right now would be the only way to get it. If you're thinking, hey, I'll get it at retail when it comes out later, yeah, you can try that, but then you run the risk of maybe the product not getting funded. We're also going to do some Kickstarter exclusive figures. So we have 2 Kickstarter exclusive figures, and you're not going to be able to get them anywhere else. The only way you can get them is through that Kickstarter. So if you're a completist, or if you like those colors, or if those figures harken back to characters that you like from other stories, or if you want to take them and customize those into something else, the only way you can get them is through Kickstarter. Right now, we'll have 10 options available based off our 2 main figures. So there's Boneyard and there's Jetstrike, and there's going to be 4 painted versions of Boneyard, 4 painted versions of Jetstrike. And then we have an unpainted white version of each figure, which is like a customizer special. And the name for those is Play With Yourself. Look, that name, Play With This Too. All right, so let's back up. Let's talk about the name Play With This. All right, so the name Play With This Too. People are like, that is the dumbest name. It's so stupid. Where'd it come from? Is he trying to make a sexual joke? No. So back when I was in high school, I met a guy named Scott Tallis, and he has a toy store in New Jersey called Play With This. And all through high school and college, for 8 years, I worked for this man at his toy store, Play With This. And it's still there. And when I was starting my company, I said to Scott, you're like a dad to me. Your kids aren't going to take over your business. You know, they're in college. They're gonna do something else. They don't want to sell collectible toys. Can I make a spin on the name? And so we came up with Play With This Too. And the logo also comes from the logo of his store. His store, it's basically the same kind of alien, but his is green. And ours is purple, or purple pink. And the reason it's purple and pink is because on Transformers Prime, there was a certain producer who, him and I we didn't get along very well. He wanted to change everything. And he's like, Energon is blue. I'm like, why did he have to change it? Why can't it just be, it's always been pink. And he's like, boys don't want to play with pink. It's like, but Energon's always been
Well,
pink.
I don't know about those boys.
Well, yeah, Energon's always been pink for the last 25 years. And he's like, no, it's blue. And basically I was overruled. And so in honor of that guy, we switched it from green to pink. And that's how we got our name and our logo.
Oh. So,
I'll tell you this too. The original name of our company was Chantel's Tears. And I was just thinking, what is the most hilarious name we can come up with? And somehow we came up with Chantel's Tears. And it's like, who is Chantel? Why is she crying? Did she make these figures? Is she crying because she wants to make more toys? I don't know. So
you'll never find out. The suspense is killing me.
So I think it was for the best to switch it from Chantel's Tears to Play With This Too.
Yeah. Someone actually mentioned that they accidentally typed the website wrong, and they were led to a porn site.
Hey, you know what? That probably can happen with any company.
Probably.
Anywhere in the world, that there's more adult content online than there is anything else, unfortunately.
Oh, I did put the K in Facebook. Why is this? So yeah, I guess moving on to another question. If I have any more questions, basically, do you have plans, if successful, to do anything after the current projects that you're doing? Like,
we would love to
that you're doing
the 6.5-inch action figure line.
Yes.
And I think all signs point to, if we're able to get this Kickstarter funded, we would most likely not need any other additional funding through Kickstarter to be able to make some more figures down the road. But 6.5 inch isn't the only thing I'm passionate about. I love lots of different toys out there. And I have another idea to do something much, much smaller. So I'm not going to get too into it, but yeah, the 6.5-inch action figure, it's not the only game that we want to play.
Not the only game they want to play with this too. Oh! I'm sorry, everyone. I'm really sorry. Anyways, moving on so that we can forget that. What I just did. The last question I have, unfortunately, on this. Is there anything... Oh, I kind of... Wait, I asked this earlier.
Throw it out there.
You don't have to do this, but is there anything you'd like to show off, like a first-time exclusive thing for the cast?
Oh man, you're putting me on the spot.
I know. I completely
You
forgot.
should have told me that like way before.
I know. I am
Let me just
so
go through my
sorry.
files real quick. If I had something, how could I share it?
I
How could
know.
I?
I really do apologize because I was going to type that in and then I don't know why. I am just not the smartest peanut in the jelly jar.
Yeah. You know what? It's we're kicking it off on Friday. Maybe we'll kick it off Thursday night. Um, Last time we kicked it off Thursday night without telling anyone. So let's see.
You don't have to. You really don't. So
No. Okay, I got something here. Where can I? How can I share this with you? Should I?
there's screen share. So.
Okay. Do you wanna? How do I screen share this?
It's
Let's see. Toolbox, right?
no, it's the green arrow thing. It's a green box with the white arrow on the side.
How's that?
Oh, wow.
Oh, we
Wow.
lost that. Hang on.
No,
There we
I
go.
still see it.
There we
Wow.
go. So this comes with it comes with two of the laser cannons because you're going to need one for each arm. It's got the reversible wings. It's going to come with three heads: the human head, the robot head, the armored head, which we call the armor head, and then it's going to come with a slightly thinner armor head that will work with the helmet. So the helmet will work on that slim armored head and the human head, and every single striker out there comes with two secret parts, and we're not telling anyone what those parts are until they arrive on your doorstep. Some people might like them, some people may not. So we're not going to tell them. But I will say this about the secret parts: they're not very big, and as far as I know, as far as the research that I've been able to do, there has never been an action figure in history that I know of, and I could be wrong. But there's never been an action figure in history that have come with those parts before.
Wow.
Now, there absolutely have been anatomically correct action figures out there. It's nothing like that. All right, it's not a phallic. It's not nothing phallic. But it comes with two secret parts that I don't think have ever been purposely produced for any action figure in history. And there's some people, there's probably like 8 people who know about it. Some people are like, oh, don't do that. People are like, oh my God, that makes it so much better. But you got to tell them beforehand. Nope. No, I want to keep, that's stuff like that makes it fun for me. I like to be able to keep it fun. I want to be able to sit back and kind of watch everyone's reactions and watch them post pics when they get their toys. And that's one way of getting people to share images of our figures once they get them, and hopefully continue the hype.
And I'm just going to tell you, like, that, what you're referencing with that figure is either my first or second favorite character.
I'm a big I love the color blue.
My sister does, but like the character it's referencing always has the best blue when it comes out.
Well, we're products of the '80s, man, and I grew up with a lot of different things, so we can reference a lot of different things. And just because we can create something that harkens back to one memory of our childhood doesn't mean we're not gonna reference everything. Doesn't mean everything that we do will reference things from our childhood. But for this Kickstarter, we're not going to reveal any stretch goals. We're going to keep them under wraps, and in fact, we're going to let the audience decide what they want as far as stretch goals. So we're going to send out a poll to our backers about halfway through, and we're going to let them know, hey, if we're funded and we're able to do stretch goals, What would you guys like to see? Do you want to see another figure? Do you want to see some extra heads, some extra gear, some limbs, some more weapons, some BMOGs, tech drones? What do you guys want first? And then we will take that information and we will provide the appropriate stretch goal if we get that far, which I hope we do.
I have to run upstairs quickly. I'm sorry to have to do this. I really have to run upstairs quickly. Would you mind in that time just talking about like your Kickstarter and your rewards and stuff like that? I know we pretty much said that to death, kind of, but like just to give people more information about just how it all works and stuff like that. Just whatever you can think of it.
Yeah, I just explain.
I'm really sorry to have to do this, but I'll be right back.
All right, so Kickstarter, nothing is charged until a campaign is funded and the campaign is ended. So this allows anyone to change their pledge. If you pledge $1 and you decide halfway through the campaign, which will last 30 days, hey, I want to change my pledge from $1 to $50, or I want to change it to $100, or I decided I want all 10 figures, or I only want 5, or I only want 1. You're able to change your pledge at any point during the Kickstarter, and the only time you will ever be charged is once it ends and if it's successfully funded. So our price is assigned. Last time we started at around it was $55 for one figure. And the more you got, the more you saved. This time, it's going to be $39 per figure, and that is $39 shipped in the USA. And you can pick from any figure. So there'll be 10 figure options, and you'll be able to say, "Hey, I'm pledging for one figure." At the end of the Kickstarter, you will get a survey saying, "All right, here are your 10 options. Which figure do you want?" And if you decide to pledge for 2 figures or 5 figures or 10 figures or 20 figures, I really hope you pledge for 20 figures. But however many figures you pledge for, you'll be able to fill out that survey and say, hey, I want 10 boneyards. I want 2 boneyards in this color. I want 2 boneyards in that color. I want a jet strike in this color, and I want a customizer version. So if you order 10 figures, you can get one of all 10, or you can order 10 of the same figures. So it's super simple, very easy compared to what we were trying to do last time. So buy these 2, or buy these 2, or buy these 2, or buy these 2. So this time it's a la carte. It's very simple. As I said, $39 per figure. 2 figures will be $78 shipped within the United States, and once you get to 3 or more figures, that'll be $113 for 3 figures, and that's shipped within the United States. As far as shipping for our international backers, we did a lot more research this time as opposed to our previous Kickstarter, because we wanted to make sure that we did everything possible to keep our prices down. And make these things affordable to people. So if you're overseas and you pledge to the Kickstarter, you will have to chip in for additional shipping, and that will all depend on how many figures you get. So if you get 2 figures, the price for shipping internationally will be different than if you get 3 figures. And we created a spreadsheet, and the way we got to that was, we take the weight of the figure, weight of the packaging, and then you box it up, and then you send it. You create a price quote for different countries, and you take the average of that, and you say, okay, this is how much shipping is going to be internationally for 2 figures, or for 3 figures, or 4 figures, and that'll be all laid out in the Kickstarter during the when it begins on Friday. And now I'm talking to myself, by myself. Yeah. So there's 10 figures. Boneyard and Jetstrike and their various repaints. And our stretch goals, looking at them now, there's going to be, you can pick as a backer, the poll will go out to backers only, and you'll be able to choose from figures, heads, which we call headshots, which will be interchangeable heads with any of our figures, gear, new B-Mogs, new appendages, which I know that sounds weird, but if you wanted like new arms or something like that, or a new torso, like that stuff, tech drones, or even a digital comic book. All right.
So you guys are doing comic book?
Well, it costs a lot of money to do a comic book, and we may do a digital comic, or we may do a printed comic. But we're gonna let people decide what they want.
Let the people.
What are you eating? What is that?
I'm sorry. It's
Is
like
that poutine?
Stuffing, potatoes, and then it's got like
Oh, nice.
broccoli and cauliflower and cheese in it.
Nice. I gotta tell you, I'm a big fan of poutine.
Oh God,
I love poutine.
We have poutine chips, like the ruffled chips.
Yeah, we're not lucky enough in America to have that stuff. There's some restaurants around here that make poutine, but it's not like anything you get in Canada. Canada has the best poutine, and every time I go to Canada, now and forever, I will try and get poutine. My first poutine experience actually was with Vangelis.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I had to get the regular poutine, and then he got like curry chicken poutine, and
curry chicken poutine. I've never heard of that.
It's like a chicken tikka masala on French fries with cheese curds. It was really good. Yeah, we went to the mall because we couldn't find a place that had decent poutine. I didn't want to try poutine at McDonald's.
Yeah.
I wanted to try it like a more high-end thing. But there was a place in the mall, and all they did was poutine, and it was awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty much everywhere here. Like, yeah, I know McDonald's has it. Not the best poutine, but it's whatever. I know some food trucks have them. A&W has them. Burger King, I believe, has them. Wendy's has them. They have them with bacon bits in them.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, bacon, egg, and cheese are the universal toppings. No matter what you're eating, one of those three can complement that food.
Well, then I should
probably... Doesn't matter if you're eating pizza or ice cream. Doesn't matter what you're eating. Bacon, egg, and or cheese will complement it nicely.
And then, like, gravy is the Y in that.
The gravy could be the Y in that, yes. But it probably has to be, like, brown gravy.
Yeah.
All right.
So
I think we broke down the Kickstarter pretty effectively and talked about all the different things.
Yeah. So I'm going to be doing a video, and I'll post it when the Kickstarter comes up to remind everyone. Just for you. So.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Well, I always try to help. Like, I know there was that incident previously, and then there was another incident before that. But I love helping out people. That's why I came to YouTube and Facebook and had the Transformers fan page and made this podcast. Like, the podcast was mainly to just talk to my friends who couldn't bother to be here. Yeah, it was basically just that. It wasn't to cause trouble. It wasn't to do anything. So I'm very grateful that a lot of the people that did watch that podcast and didn't like exactly what we said weren't really up in arms or anything like that. And I kind of got scared at that point.
Look, it's the internet, man. People can say whatever they want, and some podcasts, you know, a broadcaster needs to talk.
Yeah.
You can't just have dead air. The broadcaster needs to talk. And some podcasts, every podcast is different. Like every comic book is different. Every film is different. Every figure is different. So some keep it more casual. Some keep it more rigid and follow their own set of rules. And so don't beat yourself up, man. You're new to the world of podcasting.
Yeah.
So just have fun with it.
Well, yeah, that's actually pretty much the point of it, because like I see podcasts and I see people enjoying themselves, but the main reason why I wanted to make this podcast is so that we're just having fun, joking around, laughing at whatever, and basically talking about whatever, just us hanging out. You know, I don't want it to feel forced or anything like that.
Yeah. Sometimes the more casual approach, you get like a better answer out of someone.
Yeah, because I just want to hang out with my friends, and I want it to be fun and good, and I don't want to cause trouble.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, anything else, or are we gonna wrap it up? What you got? You got a question for at me?
I'm trying to think of any questions. I had one earlier, and I completely forgot it, which seems to be my personality. That and saying sorry. My God, I am so Canadian.
Some of my best friends are Canadian, man.
Oh yeah. For these figures, would there be I'll call them 90s weird paint version, like for Transformers, the G2 Bruticus or something like that?
You know what? Sometimes homaging something doesn't always work out. You have a vision in your head, and when it becomes a physical reality, you look at it and it's like, those colors don't necessarily look good on it. And I think you have to do what's best for the figure. And I think sometimes people forget that when they're doing repaints. What is best for the action figure? Sometimes you can't hold yourself too close to your source of inspiration, because it may not look the best. And applied in a new manner. So you just got to
Adapt.
Draw inspiration. I say adapt, draw inspiration, and don't be a slave to the past. Move forward.
Yeah, it's good to be nostalgic. Like, I have no problem with being nostalgic, but that doesn't mean I'll just keep watching something nostalgic. I kind of want something new in my life. So
yeah.
So anyways, I guess if there's nothing else to say, check out Play With Us 2. They have a website. They have a Facebook page, which I'm sure they'll update you guys on certain things of Play With Us 2. So don't forget to check that out. Rick, I'd like to thank you so much for being on this episode, because if it weren't for you, I'd probably be alone, just eating my food in front of a camera, talking to a bunch of strangers. So,
that's okay too sometimes.
Yeah, I really like to thank you for that sneak peek. That was awesome, like so awesome. And you didn't have to do that. You know, that's just like, that kind of blows me away. So, anyways, I guess that's pretty much it. Rick, got anything else to say? Sign yourself out.
Kickstarter starts Friday. Maybe we'll launch it Thursday a little earlier. Who knows? But Friday's the day. So I hope everyone decides to back us. And thanks to everyone who has supported us this far and sent out tweets and Facebook likes. And please tweet to @Kickstarter to help us be a staff pick, because that'll just help our funding chances.
Your Kickstarter is like the Transformers movies. Oh, it's coming out this day, this day. Oh, we're gonna have it one day before, and we're just gonna announce it a month previous.
Yeah, sometimes it's just fun. Like 11 o'clock Thursday night, maybe it'll go out. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Anything could happen, so keep an eye out for that. Anyways, that's pretty much it. I am Brian. Please check out TFan Page 101 and Total Ultimate Doom. Those are both my YouTube channels. Check out the Transformers fan page on Facebook, as well as the Transformers Insane Asylum, because, reminder, it does have a Facebook. I guess that's pretty much it. I'm going to enjoy my dinner. Once again, thank you, Rick.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay?
you. Thank
No.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome, but thank you.
You're welcome.
Damn! Got me there. Anyways, so that is pretty much it. I thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and all those fun doodads, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Bye.
What was that?
It says